The stars shimmered like scattered diamonds across the vast expanse of space as the human exploration vessel Astral Dawn cut through the darkness. Lieutenant Olivia Bennett stood at the observation deck watching distant galaxies pass by. Her mission had been clear survey the newly discovered planet Zaloria and establish first contact with any sentient species. She had not expected to crash land on the planet, nor to be taken prisoner by the Zalorians, tall, elegant beings with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. 2 lunar cycles had passed since her capture. The Zalorians were advanced beyond human understanding. Their technology was integrated with nature in ways Earth scientists had only dreamed of. But despite their advancement, they regarded humans as primitive curiosities, creatures to be studied and perhaps eventually displayed in their equivalent of zoos. Olivia had other plans. The cell door slid open with a soft hum. Princess Kira, the youngest daughter of the Zalorian High Council, entered, her silver-blue skin glowing faintly in the dim light. Unlike the other Zalorians who treated Olivia with clinical detachment, Kira was curious. She visited daily, asking questions about Earth-human customs relationships, and especially about the concept humans called love today. Kira seemed different, more hesitant. She paced the room, her long fingers intertwined in what Olivia had come to recognize as a gesture of nervousness. "My father has made a decision about your fate," the princess finally said, her melodic voice betraying a hint of emotion. Olivia stood tall, her brown eyes meeting the swirling silver ones of the alien princess. "Is he finally going to let me contact my ship?" Kira shook her head, causing the crystalline ornaments in her crest to chime softly. "No. He has decided that you are to be integrated into our society." Integrated. Olivia repeated the unfamiliar term as my mate Kira clarified. "The Council believes a union between our species could provide valuable scientific data." Olivia blinked, processing the information she had spent weeks learning about Zalorian culture, enough to know that mates were bound for life in a telepathic connection that was both intimate and permanent. "Me, as your mate, you can't." "Be serious." The alien princess was shocked. The words had escaped Olivia's lips before she could stop them. Kira stepped back, clearly affronted, her skin flashing darker blue patterns of distress rippling across her face. "I assure you, human, I am not pleased with this arrangement either," she said coldly. "But it is my duty to my people, to science." Olivia took a deep breath, realizing her mistake in diplomacy. Sorry. That came out wrong. It's just on Earth marriages or mating bonds are formed by choice based on feelings, not scientific curiosity." Kira tilted her head, her expression shifting to one of curiosity again. "Feelings. You speak often of these feelings. Can they truly be so important as to override duty to one species?" This was an opening. Olivia realized a chance to help the princess understand humanity, and perhaps a way to escape her fate. The human approached slowly, careful not to make any threatening movements. "Where I'm from, we believe feelings, especially love, are the most powerful force in the universe," Olivia explained. "They can make people defy orders, cross galaxies, face impossible odds." The princess scoffed, making a sound like wind chimes in a breeze that sounds inefficient. "Chaotic, but beautiful," Olivia countered. "And free. Wouldn't you like to choose your own mate? Someone who makes your heart race, who challenges you, who sees you not as a princess or a scientist, but as Kira." Something shifted in the alien princess expression. Her head crest fluttered, a sign of emotional turmoil Olivia had learned. The human pressed on. "Let me show you what freedom feels like. Help me escape. Take me to my ship. I can show you Earth. I can introduce you to human art, music, literature. All the things that make us feel." Kira was silent for a long moment, her multifaceted eyes studying Olivia with newfound intensity. The crystalline structures embedded in her temples glowed brighter. "What you suggest is treason," she finally said. "What I suggest is living," Olivia replied, stepping closer, "not just existing." The princess turned abruptly, walking to the cell door. Before exiting, she paused without looking back. "I will return at the 3rd moonrise. Be ready, human, for 3 anxious hours." Olivia paced her cell, wondering if she had misjudged. The princess had her words about freedom and choice resonated, or had she simply angered the alien royal and signed her own death warrant? True to her word, Kira returned. As the door slid open, Olivia saw that the princess was wearing different attire, not the formal council robes, but something more practical. Almost like armor. I have disabled the security sensors for this sector, Kira said briskly. We have exactly 12 minutes to reach the atmospheric hangar where your vessel is being studied. Olivia could hardly believe what she was hearing. You're helping me escape. Kira fixed her with those silver eyes. No human. We are escaping together. I wish to understand these feelings you speak of, and I cannot do so here. They moved silently through the crystalline corridors of the Zolorian citadel. Kira, using her royal access to bypass security checkpoints. Twice they had to hide from guard patrols, the princess pulling Olivia into alcoves, her cool skin pressed against the human's warm body. The hangar was enormous, housing various captured spacecraft from across the galaxy. Olivia's small exploration shuttle looked primitive among them, but it was intact. As they approached the ship, alarms began to sound throughout the citadel. Someone had discovered their absence. Hurry, Kira urged, pushing Olivia toward the shuttle. We have been discovered. Olivia grabbed the princess's hand. Do you realize what you're doing? You're giving up everything. The princess looked at their joined hands, seemingly fascinated by the contrast between her blue fingers and Olivia's tan ones. I am gaining everything, she corrected. Knowledge, experience, freedom. They boarded the shuttle, Olivia quickly initiating the launch sequence while Kira stood awkwardly in the small cabin, looking both regal and terribly out of place. The hangar doors began to close. Automated security systems activating. Hold on, Olivia warned as she overrode the safety protocols and punched the emergency thrusters. The shuttle shot forward, barely clearing the narrowing gap. Behind them, chaos erupted as Zolorian security vessels scrambled to pursue, as they broke through the planet's atmosphere, soaring into the star-speckled blackness of space. Kira pressed her face to the viewport. Her expression was one of wonder mixed with fear. I have never left Zoloria before, she confessed. Olivia programmed the coordinates for the rendezvous point where her mothership would be waiting. Well then, princess, she said with a smile, you're about to get your first lesson in human feelings. Freedom. The princess turned from the viewport, her silver eyes wide with something new. Excitement. Perhaps even hope. I believe I am already learning. Lieutenant Olivia Bennett, she said, her voice softer than Olivia had ever heard it. The stars stretched into lines of light as the shuttle jumped to hyperspace, carrying a human explorer and an alien princess toward an uncertain future. Both of them rebels. Now, both of them free space, stretched before them in kaleidoscopic patterns as the shuttle traveled through hyperspace. Kira watched, fascinated, her multifaceted eyes reflecting the swirls of light. She had never experienced such sensation, such beauty. She felt something stirring within her, a feeling she had no name for in her language. You should rest, Olivia said, breaking the silence. We have several hours before we reach the rendezvous point with my ship. Kira turned from the viewport. I do not require sleep as often as humans do, and I find I cannot rest. My mind is too full of new thoughts. Olivia smiled, understanding. How about food? Then I have some ration packs. Nothing fancy, but its sustenance. The princess studied the small silver packet Olivia offered her with scientific curiosity. She accepted it, her long, elegant fingers brushing against Olivia's. This touch caused an unexpected reaction in both of them. A small jolt of energy passed between them, making Kira gasp. What was that? The princess asked, her head crest flaring with iridescent colors. Static electricity, Olivia explained, though she wasn't entirely convinced. It happens sometimes between bodies with different charges. Kira looked unconvinced as well. I believe it may be the beginning of a telepathic bond, she said, her voice hushed. My species form such connections with our chosen mates, it should not be possible with a human. Olivia felt a chill run down her spine. Does that mean your father was right? A union between our species is possible? The princess turned away, her skin flushing a deeper blue with what Olivia had come to recognize as embarrassment. I do not know. It has never been attempted. But we are not mates. We have made no formal vows shared, no bonding ritual. The human pilot nodded, relieved. Yet something had happened between them. Something neither science nor duty could explain. Their conversation was interrupted by a sharp beeping from the console. Olivia rushed to check the readings, her expression growing serious. We've got company, she announced. Silurian pursuit vessels. They followed us through hyperspace. Kira's crest flattened against her head in alarm. That should not be possible. Our scientists have only theoretical knowledge of hyperspace tracking. Well, your scientists seem to have moved beyond theory, Olivia replied grimly as she took manual control of the shuttle. Can you operate the defense systems? The princess moved to the secondary console, her fingers hovering uncertainly over the unfamiliar controls. I can try, she said. For the next hour they worked together to evade the pursuit vessels, Olivia piloting with all the skill of an elite Earth Force pilot, while Kira quickly learned to operate the human technology. Her natural aptitude for science making up for her lack of training. Just when they thought they had lost their pursuers, the shuttle shuddered violently. They've locked on with a tractor beam, Olivia shouted. Kira studied the readouts, her expression grim. It is my father, she confirmed. The Royals, vessel. She looked up at Olivia, fear evident in her galaxy-like eyes. If he captures us, I cannot protect you. The penalty for kidnapping a royal is death. Olivia laughed despite the dire situation. Kidnapping you came willingly. The princess did not share her humor. They will not believe that. And even if they did, my actions would be seen as treason. The human pilot set her jaw determinedly. Then well, just have to make sure they don't catch us. With swift movements, Olivia engaged the emergency protocols, redirecting all power to the engines. The shuttle lurched forward, straining against the invisible force of the tractor beam. The hull groaned in protest, metal and composites stretching to their limits. Kira watched wide-eyed as Olivia worked her fingers, dancing across the controls with practiced ease. The princess had never seen such determination, such defiance against impossible odds. It was beautiful in its own chaotic human way. We need more power, Olivia muttered. The tractor beam is too strong. The princess hesitated only briefly before placing her hands on the control panel, her crystalline implants glowing with internal light. I may be able to help, she said, before Olivia could question her. Kira closed her multifaceted eyes. The temperature in the shuttle dropped suddenly, frost forming on the viewport. As the princess concentrated, a surge of energy flowed from her body into the ship's systems. The console sparked, with new life power readings jumping beyond their designed capacity. The shuttle broke free from the tractor beam with such force that both women were thrown backward. Olivia quickly regained control, steering them away from the royal vessel and toward a nearby asteroid field. What did you do? Olivia asked, amazed. Kira slumped in her seat, looking suddenly drained. My people can channel energy from our bodies into compatible technology. It is how we power our most advanced systems. But it takes a great toll. Olivia reached out, touching the princess' shoulder in concern. Are you all right? The alien woman nodded weakly. I will recover, but we must hide. The royal vessel cannot follow us into the asteroid field. Their ship is too large. Following Kira's suggestion, Olivia navigated the shuttle into the dense cluster of space rocks. The human pilot expertly weaved between the massive asteroids, using them as cover. The royal vessel followed at a distance, unable to pursue directly, but unwilling to give up the chase inside a particularly large hollow asteroid. Olivia powered down all non-essential systems. We can wait here, she said. Let them think we crashed. In the dim emergency lighting, Kira's skin glowed softly, providing just enough illumination for Olivia to see her face. The princess was studying her with that same scientific curiosity, but now there was something else in her gaze. Something warmer. Tell me about Earth. Kira requested, her melodic voice barely above a whisper. Olivia smiled, settling more comfortably in her seat. "What would you like to know? Everything." The princess replied, "The oceans, the forests, the way humans live, how they love." For hours as they hid in the belly of the asteroid, Olivia told stories of Earth. She described the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, the majesty of redwood forests, the bustle of cities and the peace of small towns. She explained human customs, holidays, traditions. She spoke of families, friendships, and romance. Kira listened entranced occasionally, asking questions that revealed how different their worlds truly were. The concept of pets baffled her, while the idea of dancing purely for enjoyment seemed revolutionary. The notion that humans could choose their own paths in life, rather than following predetermined roles, was perhaps the most alien concept of all. "It sounds chaotic," the princess said, "but wonderful, full of possibilities." "Exactly," Olivia agreed. "That's what makes human life so rich. We don't always know where we're going, but the journey is half the adventure." The princess was quiet for a moment before asking softly, "Do humans truly mate for love rather than duty?" Olivia felt her cheeks warm. "Not all of us, but most hope to. Yes, we call it marriage or partnership rather than mating. But yes, it's ideally based on love choice compatibility. And how do humans know when they have found the right mate?" Kira pressed her head tilted in that curious way that Olivia had come to find endearing. The human laughed softly. "That's the eternal question, isn't it? Sometimes it's instant a feeling when you meet. Sometimes it grows over time, but when it's right, you just know it's here." She pointed to her heart. And here she touched her temple. Kira mirrored the gesture, placing her long blue fingers over her own heart and temple. "For my people it is similar, yet different. When we find our true mate, there is a resonance, a connection that begins before any formal bond is made. It is said that such connections are rare, precious, almost sacred. Something in the princess tone made Olivia's pulse quicken. "And have you ever felt this resonance?" she asked, her voice barely audible over the hum of the shuttle's life support systems. The princess met her gaze, silver eyes locking with brown. "I never understood what it meant until now." The air between them seemed to crackle with unspoken possibility. Neither moved, both afraid to break the fragile moment that had formed in the darkness of their asteroid hideaway. A sudden alarm shattered the silence. Olivia turned to the console, her heart racing. "They found us," she said. Kira straightened, her moment of vulnerability replaced by royal poise. "We cannot outrun them." "Not with the damage to our engines." Olivia checked the scanners. Then, well, have to face them, she decided. "But on our terms, buckle in, princess. Things are about to get interesting." With determination burning in her eyes, Olivia powered up the shuttle. "Ready or not, here we come." The shuttle burst from the asteroid like a bullet from a gun. Olivia pushed the engines beyond their safety limits, sending them into a spinning trajectory that confused the royal vessel's targeting systems. Kira gripped her seat, her knuckles turning a pale lavender as the G-forces pressed them back. "This is madness," the princess gasped. "This is humanity," Olivia replied with a fierce grin. "Sometimes the best strategy is no strategy, just pure, unpredictable chaos." She executed a series of maneuvers that no Zalorian pilot would ever attempt, diving toward the royal vessel instead of away from it. The larger ship hesitated, surprised by the aggressive approach Olivia used, that moment of uncertainty, to slip beneath the royal cruiser into its blind spot. "They cannot track us while we are in this position," Kira observed, impressed. "But we cannot stay here for long." Olivia nodded. "We don't need long, just enough to reach those coordinates." She pointed to a spot on the navigation display. The princess studied the location. "There is nothing there." "Not yet," Olivia said mysteriously. "Just trust me." Trust. A foreign concept to a species raised on logic and duty. But Kira found herself nodding. "Yes. I trust you." Those simple words sent an unexpected warmth through Olivia's chest. She focused on piloting, keeping the shuttle in the royal vessel's blind spot, while inching toward the seemingly empty coordinates. Suddenly, the space before them shimmered. A massive vessel appeared, as if from nowhere, its stealth, cloaking disengaging, the human mothership Astral Dawn. Olivia announced triumphantly. The royal vessel detected the new arrival, immediately changing course to intercept. But the Astral Dawn was ready, its defense systems activated, creating a protective barrier between the shuttle and its pursuers. "Take us in," Olivia instructed the computer as they approached the docking bay. Kira grew visibly anxious. "What will happen to me?" she asked, her voice small. "Will I be your prisoner now, as you were mine?" Olivia reached across the space between them, taking the princess's hand. "No, you will be our guest. An ambassador if you wish, or simply a visitor exploring new worlds. The choice is yours." Choice. The word seemed to echo in the small cabin. A concept so simple to humans yet so revolutionary to Zalorians. The shuttle docked smoothly in the Astral Dawn's hangar. As the airlock cycled open, Olivia saw the welcoming committee waiting, a mixture of curiosity and caution on their faces. Captain Laura Walsh stood at the front, her uniform impeccable. Her expression guarded Lieutenant Bennett. Captain Walsh called. Her eyes moved to Kira. "I see you brought company." Olivia stood at attention. "This is Princess Kira of Zaloria. She helped me escape, and she comes seeking knowledge about humanity." The captain raised an eyebrow, surveying the alien royal with new interest. "Does the Zalorian High Council know she's here?" "No, Mom," Kira answered before Olivia could speak. "I have committed what my people would consider treason to come here." A murmur ran through the assembled crew. Captain Walsh silenced them with a look. "Well then, it seems we have a diplomatic situation on our hands." She stepped forward, extending her hand in greeting. "Welcome aboard the Astral Dawn, Princess." "Kira, I look forward to hearing your story." The princess stared at the offered hand, confused. Olivia leaned in, whispering, "It's a greeting. Take her hand in yours." Kira followed the instruction, her cool, slender fingers wrapping around the captain's. Human custom felt strange yet oddly intimate. Over the next several days, Kira became something of a celebrity aboard the Astral Dawn. The crew was fascinated by their alien visitor, and she by them. She spent hours in the ship's library absorbing human history, literature, art, and science. She observed crew members in the recreation areas, watching with wonder as they played games, danced, sang, and formed connections that had nothing to do with duty or hierarchy. Olivia became her unofficial guide, explaining customs, answering questions, helping her navigate the complex social dynamics of human interaction. In the process, they grew closer, their initial wariness transforming into genuine friendship, and perhaps something more. One evening they sat together in the observation lounge, watching as the ship passed through a nebula of swirling purple and blue gases. The colors reminded Olivia of Kira's skin when she was deep in thought. "May I ask you something personal?" the princess said, breaking the comfortable silence between them. "Of course," Olivia replied. "Why did you become an explorer? What drives you to leave your home, your family, your world behind?" Olivia considered the question, gazing out at the cosmic light show. "I suppose I wanted to see what's out there, to discover new worlds, new peoples, to expand not just human knowledge but my own understanding of life. The universe, everything." She smiled at Kira. "And you? What made a royal princess interested in alien species?" Kira turned her multifaceted eyes, reflecting the nebula's colors. "I always felt different from my family. My interest in other beings was considered inappropriate for someone of my status. But I could not help my curiosity. I wanted more than the predetermined path set before me. I wanted freedom." Olivia finished for her. "Yes," the princess agreed. Their eyes met and held. Something unspoken passed between them, a recognition of kindred spirits despite their vastly different origins. The ship's communication system interrupted the moment. "Lieutenant Bennett, Captain Walsh request your presence in the conference room." Immediately. Olivia frowned. "What now?" A growing sense of unease settled in her stomach as she and Kira made their way to the conference room. Captain Walsh was waiting, her expression grim. We just received a transmission, she said without preamble, from the Zalorian High Council. Kira froze, her skin paling to a light periwinkle. My father, she whispered. The captain nodded grimly. The High Counselor himself. He demands the immediate return of his daughter and threatens war if we refuse. Olivia stepped forward protectively. That would be kidnapping. Princess Kira came willingly. She is still royalty, Captain. Walsh replied. And barely an adult by their standards. Her father claims she was manipulated. I was not. Kira interjected, her voice stronger than Olivia had ever heard it. I made my choice. She moved to stand beside Olivia, their shoulders nearly touching. I wish to speak to my father. The captain hesitated, then nodded. Very well. The large view screen in the conference room flickered to life, revealing the imposing figure of High Counselor Verex. His skin was deep cobalt, his crest elaborate with age and status. The crystalline implants at his temples pulsed with barely contained anger. Kira, my child, what madness has possessed you? He demanded. Father, Kira began, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. I came to learn. To understand humans and their ways, you abandoned your duty, your people, your mate bond. For what curiosity? He spat the word as if it were poison. The princess stood taller. I abandoned a bond I never agreed to. I am not a scientific specimen to be paired for optimal genetic outcomes. I am a person. Verex recoiled as if struck. His eyes narrowed to slits. You speak like them. Now you have been corrupted. No, father, I have been awakened. I have seen another way of living, where individuals have value beyond their function, where connection is based on choice, not duty. She glanced at Olivia, drawing strength from her presence. I cannot return to Zaloria. Not now. Perhaps not ever. The High Counselor was silent, for a long moment, his face unreadable. Then he spoke, his voice cold. You leave me no choice, daughter. If you will not return willingly, I must retrieve you by force, for your own protection. The screen went dark. Captain. Walsh turned to her officers. Shields. At maximum alert, all stations. Prepare for possible hostile engagement. No, Kira cried. Wait. There is another way. All eyes turned to the princess, who suddenly seemed every inch the royal she was born to be. I propose a diplomatic solution, she said. Cultural exchange. I will return to Zaloria temporarily to present what I have learned about humanity. And in exchange, a human delegation will be welcomed on our world as honored guests. Not specimens. Not prisoners. Olivia looked at her in surprise. This was not the frightened princess who had helped her escape. This was a leader, taking shape before her eyes. Captain Walsh considered the proposal. It has merit. But will your father agree? He must. Kira said firmly. For if he truly wants war with humanity, he should first understand what that means. She turned to Olivia, her eyes pleading. Will you come with me? As Earth's representative. The request took Olivia by surprise. But am just a lieutenant, not a diplomat. You are the first human to truly see my people, Kira said softly, and the first to show me what humanity truly is. Your words, your actions changed everything. Changed me. Who better to represent your species, Captain? Walsh nodded thoughtfully. Lieutenant Bennett has demonstrated remarkable diplomatic skills despite her unorthodox methods. She smiled wryly. Getting captured and then escaping with a princess certainly wasn't in the mission parameters, but she has opened a door we didn't know existed. Olivia felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders, but also a surge of pride, a chance to truly make a difference, to bridge two worlds, to stay with Kira. Very well, she said, I accept. The next day, Olivia found herself preparing to board a diplomatic shuttle. The captain had arranged a proper envoy, complete with cultural attachés, scientists, and security personnel. But Olivia would be the lead representative. As she packed her few belongings, there was a soft knock at her quarters door. Kira stood there, Looking strangely vulnerable despite her royal attire, "May I enter?" the princess asked. Of course, Olivia gestured her in. Kira moved with her characteristic grace, but there was tension in her shoulders, a nervousness that hadn't been there before I wanted. "To thank you," she said, "for everything you have taught me about freedom, choice, feeling." Olivia smiled. "It was my pleasure. Besides, you taught me things too. About duty, honor, the importance of connection." They stood in silence for a moment, the air between them charged with unspoken words. Finally, Kira stepped closer, her hand reaching out tentatively. "On my world, when two beings form a true bond, there is a resonance, a connection that transcends physical proximity." She hesitated. "I believe I have felt this with you. Is that possible?" Olivia's heart raced. "We have a similar concept on Earth, soulmates. Though many consider it just a romantic notion." The princess tilted her head in that curious way that Olivia had grown to adore. "And do you believe in this concept?" "I never did before," Olivia admitted, but now she reached out, her fingers intertwining with Kira's now. "I'm not so sure." The touch sent a ripple of warmth through both of them. The crystals at Kira's temples glowed softly in response. "Whatever happens on Zaloria," the princess said softly, "know that you have changed me forever, and perhaps with time we can change both our worlds." Olivia squeezed her hand gently. "One step at a time." Princess 1. Choice at a time. Later, as the diplomatic shuttle departed for Zaloria, Olivia stood at the viewport watching the stars. She did not know what awaited them on the alien world, whether Kira's father would listen, whether peace could be achieved, whether the connection growing between human and alien could survive the pressures of two vastly different cultures. But for the first time, she understood that the greatest exploration wasn't of strange new worlds, but of hearts and minds. The final frontier wasn't space but understanding. And in that moment, looking at the princess who stood proudly at her side, Olivia Bennett knew that some journeys were worth any risk. As their fingers brushed together briefly, hidden from the view of others, Olivia made a silent promise. Whatever happened, she would show this remarkable alien woman all the beauty, chaos, and wonder that humanity had to offer. And perhaps together they would create something entirely new, a bridge between worlds, a love that transcended species, a future neither of them could have imagined alone.